Welcome to Pride Against Prejudice, a Shadowrun 4th edition actual play podcast.
Hi, I'm Simon and I'm playing Huggy Bear.
Hi, I'm Al and I'll be playing Maverick.
Hi, I'm Jack and I play Toyga.
Hi, I'm Michael and I'll be playing Sunshine.
And my name is Rhydian, I'm the GM. If you would like any bonus content, a link to our living campaign map can be found in the show notes, along with a link to our Discord where you can get occasional bonus episodes, and if you'd like to add locations to the map or just ask us questions, you're welcome to join us there. If you stick about for a few seconds at the end of the episode, we also have a question for you as well. Following content may contain themes and materials not suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised. Before we dive into the episode, here's some pay data on another one of the Shadowrun podcasts out there for you to listen to.
You ever wanted to play Shadowrun? You know, the cyberpunk tabletop game where man meets magic and machine. It's too hard though, right? Too crunchy? Too clunky? It's a lot of math. Wrong! Pink Fohawk is a Shadowrun 2nd edition actual play podcast, played by the rules, but fast and loose, with all the 80s cyberpunk edginess you know and love, where the hair is big and the explosions are bigger. Follow the story of two rad Shadowrunners, making a name for themselves in the mean streets of 2053 Seattle. Tina Bonemeal, 9.5 feet of pure troll muscle, surveillance expert, and aspiring actress. John Anderson, former company man, with a resume shrouded in mystery and a black belt Nikito. Check out Pink Fohawk Podcast, available everywhere you listen to podcasts.
Now the team have spoken to their contacts and got some intel on their target, it's time to do some scouting and find the best place to hit the Oiban. And we find out a bit more about our runners' pasts. You're still at Giuseppe's. Are you wanting to ask him anything else, or are you heading on your merry way? It's the morning of day 2 of the job.
I think we're heading on our merry way. Sunshine, nothing to add?
Don't think so. No, I think we're good.
We thank Giuseppe.
Eat your cannoli and fuck off. Yeah. That's fine. What are you doing next then?
I think we need a group strategy meeting because I have no idea what we're doing.
Yeah.
At this point, you get like a little ding on your comm link. For the record, I had also left by this point. You did not want me meeting Giuseppe. For some reason known only to yourselves.
Oh yeah, we didn't invite Toy.
Can't imagine why. Anyway, you get a little ding on your comm links. Anyone fancy a home-cooked meal round mine? Don't mind the doorman, he's harmless. And then there's just like a picture of Chloe's very clean kitchen.
Real food?
You know what? I don't trust you to make dinner without hurting yourself, so I'm coming.
Fancy a kitchen are we talking here? Does this look like normal kitchen or does this look like rich boy kitchen?
This is Rich Boy in a very plain kitchen doing his best.
Does Tiger have an actual kitchen, or are we talking soy processor and microwave?
So there is a soy processor, which is still in the condition he found it in when he started renting the place. There's a hot plate, there's appears to be like a small like cooker. It's not like an inbuilt cooker like we have nowadays, it's just sort of under the hot plate in a cupboard.
He emptied a cupboard and that became the cooker.
Yes.
Oh Christ, East Wilston's a AAA too.
Wait, Toygar, do you live in AAA?
No, that's I was looking up where the Prosperous Boar is.
Oh, right.
Sorry, that was completely unrelated to the conversation.
So Mav's tapping away on his comm link in the background, just going, fuck, that's it. Oh, God. So yeah, are you heading to Toygar's?
We're all heading to Toygar's, I believe.
Could I get a little edge roll off Huggy, please?
0 hit.
You're on your way over there. It's not too bad, but you do end up having to stop for a while on the freeway, so it takes about an hour longer than you expected, because Yeah, looks like somebody was doing a run here, and there's body parts scattered all over the road, and they've closed it to scrape up.
Oh,
lovely.
rude.
Jesus.
It's pretty bad. The people were tossing hand grenades around. It's yeah, you
Who
eventually.
uses explosives on a freeway? Really?
I know, it's almost as inconsiderate as those fraggers in Denver that use barrier foam. But yeah, you make your way over there without incident. There's the usual gangers outside the door. They kind of nudge each other as they see the van approaching, and there's lifting of chins and yeah, we know not to mess with you, but we're going to give you like hard looks so that we look like we're doing something, and you get in without further incident.
I don't cause any problems.
Old Rick, the crazy drunk who lives in the elevator, seems to be yelling something about they're under his skin and throwing empty whiskey bottles about. You just can't believe him to it.
He's in one of those moods.
Yeah.
Sunshine hasn't met him yet, has she?
No, don't think she has. However, he's got other problems right now. He's not really paying attention.
I think the fact that everybody else just kind of goes, oh yeah, he's there, will clue Sunshine in that this is not unusual behavior.
Hey.
You just get some Father Jack-esque nonsense screamed back at you and a whiskey bottle flung across the hallway.
It's a real nice place you got here.
His aim's getting better. I don't think he's had that many today.
You start on the stairs and you're knackered by the time you get up there, but you eventually get up to Toiga's floor. I think it's high mid-teens, was it? Or 30-something?
18th floor.
18th floor, I thought so.
Get up to the top, and Sunshine's just a sweaty mess. The armpits have changed colour, boob sweat, the lot. It ain't pretty. And Sunshine's like, how do you manage this in a building with no working elevator?
It works sometimes, it's just Rick lives in it at all times. Do you want to have a shower before we have dinner, or will you be okay?
Maybe. Yes, please.
The fold-down sink bites, watch out.
When you go in to put the shower on, you put the water running, and it's brown and has sediment for about 2 minutes before it runs clear.
Toiger, how do you not have Legionellas?
Who says I don't?
Okay.
You know, Tiger, if you want a mage, I'd be seriously concerned about your health.
I'm seriously concerned about his health anyway. Mage or not. The Awakened aren't any more resistant to normal pathogens.
The awakened waterborne virus that can give me the shits hasn't been born yet. Right.
You'll be making them up some dinner then, Toiga, so you can sit down and have a conflab. What are you making them?
This is going to be a vegetarian dish called Buddha's Delight I was reading about recently. 23 ingredients, all of them vegan or vegetarian. Apparently it's meant to get you a lot of good karma and get you like a good place in the afterlife when you have it. Some of the things in it are poisonous, some of them are endangered, they're all delicious.
Fair enough.
You're really cooking us something with poisonous ingredients, with your luck.
Ginkgo seeds are only poisonous in high doses or if you're allergic.
Temptation to make you roll edge. Okay, so you got your dinner. What's your thoughts?
Okay, so Huggy will sort of set up an AR map of, the areas that we're looking at. So it's Moment, King's Point. There's Boa again.
The boar is in East Williston, which is a AAA. King's Point is only a AA.
So that's even worse than trying to hit him at home.
Yep.
Shit.
Yep. Couldn't he have been in Williston Park? It's a nice D-rated area. There are real people there.
So, it seems to me like we have a couple of options.
All of them bad.
Yeah. We can try our luck at just hacking him, but that's not going to work.
Yeah, I am not a good enough decker to pull that off. Sorry, chummer.
It was also mentioned that he keeps the information offline, so to prevent exactly that.
Do we know if he keeps it on him or if he just keeps it in a secure location?
We know he works in 2 places. Offline storage and working in 2 places means he takes it with them at least some of the time. There's no way to do that otherwise.
So we can...
Theoretically, if he travels between Kings Point and East Williston, as he must to be in both places, there's not a safe route between them that only goes through high-rated areas.
He is still, however, a traveling Oyabun, so
Yeah.
he's going to have his pet psychopath with him.
Yes, but traveling Oyabun is more vulnerable than Oyabun who is in one of his fortresses.
Yeah, I know. I'm just making sure you know, like, that ain't...
We are going up against an Oyabun. There's no safe way to do this.
Yeah, I know. I'm just making sure nobody thinks that that's an easy option, because it ain't.
There are no easy options here.
Presumably they all spend time together at the restaurant. Cause chaos there, they flee in a panic, we can get in and have a bit of a snoop around, see if they left anything behind in a panic, or if we can leave a listening device behind.
If
or...
they are taking the information with them, then the information is going to be the first thing that they grab.
Yeah.
60-year experienced Oyabuns do not panic just because you caused some chaos.
Do they panic when their bodyguards are having severe allergic reactions and devil rats are swarming up out of the pipes?
Is that a thing you can cause?
Not the allergic reactions, but Gawon here, at this point, like, snaps his fingers and like his beast spirit appears, sort of like you know, head in lap, lying against him like it's been here all along, can talk to animals. And Rat is going to be paying his debt to Cat until the sun goes out. So, any little thing.
That's an option.
I'm pretty sure this has come up before, that speak to animals does not include awakened animals.
Animal control is the power. It only works on non-awakened animals, so it would work on a normal rat, but not a devil rat.
Normal rats swarming up out of the pipes are worrying enough. And honestly, he doesn't need to control the devil rats if they're going to follow their little cousins.
Usually it's the other way round. Devil rats are bigger, smarter, and a lot meaner.
Also, you think a AAA area has devil rats?
Yes.
New York City, you're never more than 6 feet from a rat. Or 16 feet from a devil rat.
You're making that up.
I honestly don't believe that there's anywhere in New York that doesn't have devil rats.
I'm scared that he might not be making that up.
You know how much effort it took to get the rats out of this building? There's a literal shaman of she who prowls in the dusk, and they still crawl about in the walls in here.
Right.
Anyway,
You mages have really weird ways of talking about this stuff.
yeah, they do.
I've probably earned myself a few nightmares by saying her name and his name in the same breath. I was incautious. They don't like hearing their names spoken aloud.
Right.
Okay, well, I'm glad that's not my problem.
Just because you're cutting bits out of your soul doesn't mean you don't have one, dearie.
Let's not start that conversation.
No, because that's when it gets really horrifying and I start weeping about bug spirits.
Let's not start that conversation.
Okay, so we know he travels to the restaurant.
Yep.
We know he'll have his psycho bodyguard there. We know about his wife.
The wife's an interesting avenue.
Yeah.
A genius accountant, a scion of a major Yakuza family, and apparently a martial arts master, is quite willing to bend over and be the submissive of a housewife. Have any of you heard of a concept called Yamato Nadeshiko?
No.
Depending on what it is, the character of Sunshine may potentially, but it sounds like the player does not know what it is. So enlighten us, and we can decide if the player, the character does.
Yeah, tell us what it is.
Yamato's a sort of romantic, poetic name for Japan, like Albion for Great Britain or Era for Tsunomo. Nadeshiko is the Japanese name for the superb dianthus. It's a delicate-looking wildflower that grows only in the most remote parts of the Japanese mountains, and one specimen survived being nuked when it was in Hiroshima during the Second World War. It's sort of a descriptor for the ideal of Japanese womanhood. Demure, calm, respectable, but willing to pick up her naginata and drive bandits away from the family estate when her husband's away off fighting the Shogun's wars. She's going to be raised with that ideal as, like, the perfect thing to aspire to. I don't think that little bit of metal in the middle is going to let her be a side player. I'm willing to bet there's more going on there than meets the eye. Because these Yakuza people would sooner cut off their right hand than admit that a woman had any part to play in their goings-on.
I mean, yeah, but look, say she's smart, she's good at the accounting side of things, she knows martial arts, but there's still that pressure to conform, and there's still that pressure to be seen.
And there's nothing to say that she's not just a demure person who's good at accounting and likes martial arts. There's nothing to say that she's not happy to be where she is.
One does not become Oyaban of a Yakuza family by squandering resources, even undesirable resources, by reasons of femininity.
What is the evidence that you have that suggests she is in any way an asset to us?
It's a feeling. I'm going to be honest with you here, people. I don't know much about crime families. I don't know much about sneaking in. I'm a bit too much of a blunt instrument for this.
We've noticed.
I am not exactly one to... I don't know much about crime families, but I know an awful lot about gangs. And I know enough about gangs to know that there's some people out there who just like being where they are. And there's nothing I can see that says she's not just happy where she is, and if that is the case, and we try to contact her, that blows our whole operation out of the water.
We know this, well, we've been told, not the same thing as knowing for sure, we've been told this was set up as a political marriage. That doesn't mean they have to like each other, but equally, she's the daughter of another Yakuza family. She has been brought up in that world. She knows the rules that the Yakuza play by. I don't see evidence that, from the piece of information that we've got, that, for want of a better way of putting it, that she wouldn't do her job.
Wait a minute, sorry, I'm looking through the notes we had. They don't like magic.
No, that is a weakness.
But they use and abuse it.
That gives us a slight edge in that regard.
Hold on.
Yes, sweetness, what is it?
Tiger, if you sense someone,
Yeah.
do the whole wiggly fingers, figure out if someone's magical thing.
I don't wiggle my fingers, Petal. I stare into their very essence, but go on.
You know what I mean. I don't know, I don't do magic.
I do, Nico, I know.
I'm not sure if you've noticed, but you do actually wiggle your fingers sometimes.
The nervous tick, and at this point he wiggles his fingers.
Sunshine, what's your question?
Is there any chance she might be an adept, based on the whole martial arts thing? I may be completely barking up the wrong tree here, but...
I mean, we know an adept.
If she is magic, and...
He is doing things that adepts can do. But adepts can do anything, and we also can't do anything that normal people can't do.
You just do it better, Sergeant.
We just do it better. Unless you're a poor adept, in which case an expert normal will be better than you.
I would only need a second to a sensor, and we know what the address is. Assuming there's no serious magical protections, I could just pop in for the peek.
What I'm wondering, and this is a big if, but I don't think we lose anything by finding this out. If she's a adept, that gives us leverage over her.
Assuming the Oiban doesn't already know and command her to keep it a secret. But even then,
Of
that
course,
gives us more
of
leverage.
course he would know. Of course he would know. But my point is, they are keeping it a secret.
His people might not know.
His
And
people
keeping
won't
something
know.
that big from the most backwards clan on the East Coast. That's a pretty big betrayal.
Yeah. So what I'm
If
thinking,
you're right.
if I'm right, if I'm wrong, we haven't lost anything by trying to find out. Unless, because again, I don't do magic, unless Toiger gets detected doing this, but we know the magical security is probably not going to be the best, yeah?
Hiring simple wage mages, a truly powerful magician would throw in with some clan that wasn't ashamed of them. They're going to be getting the dregs and the rejects.
Or throw in with a corp.
True. Wage mages are a thing. I was actually trained by wage mages. You know that my parents were very high-level corpos. That's why my name takes about 2 minutes to say.
You and
Still,
Luna have some stuff in common. Because have you met my girlfriend?
I've not, but the way you talk about her, she sounds delightful. The two of you should come over for dinner one time. How's your Buddha's Delight, by the way?
How's mine? I don't know how to make this. I can just about put together a soy burger without burning it, chummer.
Is it nice? Have I seasoned it too much?
I mean,
Is there too much bacterial protein?
I think this is good. I've never had this before. I don't know what half this
It
stuff
tastes
is.
of clean stuff. I'm slightly confused at this, but it's food and I'm enjoying
Yeah,
it.
it's like
yeah,
it's
you got
good,
real
but
vegetables, Tiger. I haven't eaten real food in about 5 years.
So, fun
Right,
fact,
stuff
that
is
long
real?
springly... Yeah, it's real vegetables. So I'm super allergic to soy, and the whole building smells me if I ever eat it. But that long springly brown stuff, it's not actually a vegetable. It's actually a kind of bacteria that grows these long strands. You can get fake stuff. It's called cellophane noodles, but it doesn't taste quite the same. Auntie from the 6th floor was able to source most of this for me. She owes me big time. Right, so...
What? I mean, I've eaten Stranger Things, so I don't really know what I'm talking about, but okay.
So, we have an address for this Oiba, and at this time of night, presumably the wife is at home powdering her nose.
Isn't it like 10 in the morning?
Yeah, it's probably now like 12 o'clock, like noonish. It's
Right, sorry, I thought this was night time.
no, it's fine. It's actually a moderately sensible time of day right now.
Then again, she's a Yakuza wife. She's expected to sit prettily at home, braiding her hair and writing haikus. And we have an address. Can you guys keep an eye on my shoes for a minute or two?
Oh god, he's gonna do some mage stuff.
keep an eye on your shoes.
Body, just
It's what mages call their body when they go astral.
Wait, can you go astral? Can you go all the way over there from here?
Yes.
fast and blinking, my dove.
That's weird.
Mages.
Yeah, I know, but that's
It's
all
like
the way across the other side of Long Island.
it's like going full VR.
Ah,
think.
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, but like
But
with
magic.
yeah, but with like more.
Trippy colours and stuff.
There's very few trippy colours involved, actually.
Unless your VR is set up for trippy colours.
No, mine's is set up pretty normal.
I'm running stock, chummer.
Most of New York is just grey. There's a few very active places that are like staring into the sun, but no, just give me a minute. And then like Toiga just sort of like drops to the floor, each foot on the opposite knee, claps his hands, and then falls over.
This will probably take you a little while. Do you have like area knowledge, New York, or anything like that?
Nope, I have an address.
Tiger is trying to use his memory of a map to navigate
The
astral.
which it doesn't really apply to.
It's all the right shape. You just can't read the street signs.
Yeah, so what I'm going to say is, what skills do you have that might in any way, shape or form be related?
Let's see. I have magical phenomena. I have spirit, so if there's any larking about, I'd probably ask the directions. And high society, so this is like a AAA area they live in, so I know what a AAA area looks like on the Astral.
You wouldn't really well, you might a little bit, but what active skills have you got? You've got a sensing, what else?
I've got a sensing, sorcery and conjuring groups, perception.
Or you're just gonna come back 10 minutes later going, I got lost.
Give me your spirits roll. I'll say that you can ask various spirits for directions and you can manifest. It's more just to get an idea of how long it takes.
I've now got the image of you know that when Frodo puts on the ring and it all goes weird.
Yep.
That view. He's Toiger in normal colours, just walking down Street View, and there's just a random spirit with a few spirits commuting and going to their day job or whatever spirits do on the Astral, and there's just a random spirit on the corner flogging hot dogs, and you have to go and buy a spiritual hot dog to get directions.
Yeah, that totally happened. Spirit of Man. No hits, but you didn't glitch. It takes you about an hour to actually find the damn place.
Oh, one hit.
Oh, no, you got one hit. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong roll. I do apologise.
That's my edge roll.
It is indeed. So, yeah, it takes you about an hour. You end up overshooting at one point, and you end up at the tip of Long Island going, oh, what? Oh, shit, and having to go back the other way. You eventually find yourself there on the astral plane. Are you keeping your distance to begin with? Are you just going straight in? What are you doing?
It's quite a sort of big fancy house. I'm going to sort of I don't know, maybe 2 meters above the roof, looking down, looking for anything that glows, obviously, magically.
Alright, give me a perception roll as you approach.
3 hits.
So you do notice that there do seem to be some watcher spirits active in the grounds. They seem to just be, patrolling the place.
Oh, hypocrisy at its finest.
You would know this, Toiga. Watcher spirits are...
Dumb as
yeah,
a
they're
bag.
dumb as a bag of bricks, but they do what they say on the tin. You tell them, look for this, and they will look for that.
And when they see something, they just start yelling, and you usually pair them up with a smarter spirit that then goes, ah! The Watcher has started screaming.
Something Toiger will know is that Watcher spirits can't be bound. The fact that there's several of them lurking here means that they have
Being there several mages.
at least one full-time mage.
So I'm going to report back to everybody first. So my body's just sort of lying there. I tried to arrange it so that I just sort of sit in the lotus position, but I did fall over. So it's a case of just sitting up suddenly, fully awake. Okay, I found the place, everybody.
You'll find yourself propped up because people have not just left you slumped.
Yeah, we've put some cushions under him.
Oh, who gave me cushions? That's so nice.
How long is your hair, Toiger?
Waist length braid.
Oh.
Damn it, it's already... I know what Sunshine is thinking. You were gonna braid his hair.
You can always undo it and then French braid it.
Yeah, let's go with that. Yeah, I'm sat behind you, French plaiting your hair, and Toiger, when did you last brush this?
I think there's a brush somewhere under one of the cushions. I don't bother looking for it. I chew my hair when I'm nervous.
Sunshine's pulled a tangle teaser out of her bag.
Is that bag a pocket dimension? Is there everything in there, or is it just sex toys and beauty products?
Some other stuff in here as well.
I think it's mostly sex toys and beauty products.
I do keep some other stuff in here. I've got some snacks.
I do like snacks. He just tries reaching into the bag.
I slap his hand.
Fine. So I found the place. It did take me a while. I do not have the greatest sense of direction, and it's never as good as I think it is. So it turns out that our friendly neighborhood Yakuza crime lord is a hypocrite. The place is crawling with watcher spirits. They have at least one full-time magician on staff.
You saw 2 watchers.
Crawling.
Crawling with them it was. And since Watcher spirits can't be bound, it means there needs to be 2 people to summon them.
Is it one
Can
per
you only have
wizard?
one watcher per?
Mav, could I get a security company police procedures roll from you at a -3?
At a -3, absolutely. Nope. Nothing.
You're kind of racking your brains and you're just going, magical security just wasn't my deal. I didn't really pay attention to it.
Nope.
I did more the physical stuff. Physical with magic, yeah, but not that kind of magical security.
Oh, it would absolutely draw attention to me. Your magical aura is more distinct than a thumbprint. I could maybe sick something on the Watcher spirits, draw their attention away, and see what happens. It would give us a bit more...
Very much in the tipping our hand territory.
Exactly, because even if I summon the spirit, it would have its own aura, but mine would be on it as well. It would indistinctly be my doing.
I think.
Stupid
Have you
idea.
checked out the restaurant?
The restaurant.
I didn't check out the restaurant.
Maybe go check that out. We might get lucky, and the security there might be less.
Before I go anywhere,
Tiger, you're a posh twit.
that is perhaps the cruelest thing you've ever called me, but go on.
You could, go out to a posh restaurant. You don't have to go there, Astro. You could just walk in.
There's a reason I got my face tattooed, Maverick. I don't like being posh. It's not me. I'm willing to do it, but I just want to understand that my skin will crawl for every second I'm doing it.
You're suffering is a welcome byproduct of this.
I'm not really sure we want to trust Toiger with walking into a restaurant and not causing a scene.
Toiger?
On the
No.
other hand, you make a good point.
Toiger, no. Cyril, Cargill, Mountbatten, etc., 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 to Peralta the Third is another matter.
Who?
Me.
What?
That's your name?
Give me a second, I'm getting my birth certificate. He just sort of disappears into a different corner of the studio flat.
Wait, you have a birth certificate?
Wait, you have a
I had a SYNV, guys, for the longest time.
I have a birth certificate. It's valid.
Yeah, so's mine. It's just not linked to a real person anymore. Give me,
Wait.
is that...
Wait, they give you certificates for being born?
Yeah.
If you're posh, yes.
It's like the ultimate participation certificate.
So quite a bit of digging goes on. Eventually he pulls out a box from under the bed filled with actual paper.
Would that not go to your parents? They're the ones who gave birth to you. You didn't do anything.
Please don't make me think about my own birth.
Mav wiggles his hands briefly and pulls up an AR object. And that's his.
No, mine is an actual bit of paper.
Oh, you got a physical one.
Yeah, they...
I bet it's actually made of trees as well. Oh shit.
What kind of hospital were you born? Oh, wait. You have the third in your name.
Also, Mav, showing a hell of a lot of trust there, showing your running buddies your birth certificate with your goddamn real name, let alone revealing, yeah, I've got a real sin.
They know I'm a sinner. I'm pretty sure they know I'm a sinner.
I didn't until now.
That's fine.
Oh well.
Like I say, Mav's being very trusting.
So Toiger eventually finds a bit of paper. It's about A4 width, but 3 lengths of paper. Rolled up, he pulls out and unrolls it. There you go, that's my full given name. It starts Cecil and ends to Peralta the Third. But yeah, you can see it goes on for quite a while.
Is the scroll just his name?
So it's the full birth certificate, we certify that this individual male infant was born at this time on this date. The infant is named. 3 pages.
Cecil Peralta the Third.
My running name is longer than my real name. But how do you remember this?
That's my name. I had to introduce myself by my full name in order to give a proper display for the family. It was a whole thing. Most of these names come from either distant relatives my parents were trying to get in good with, or I was named after potential godparents. that they wanted to form a link to. My whole birth was planned and orchestrated as a merger. Not even a merger, it's more to get marketing and merchandising to stop quarreling with each other all the time if they got their two heads to just sort of smooch and make baby.
Ugh, God, I'm glad I'm not in that life.
Rich people are weird.
Rich people are weird.
You know, I think they've been married quite some time before they even learned each other's first names.
Rich people are weird.
Rich people are really weird.
They lived in different wings of the house.
Tiger, stop being that kind of weird and go back to your normal weird.
The normal weird where I turn into a ghost and sneak into people's houses without them even realizing I'm there.
That's not weird, that's normal.
We're Shadowrunners, that's perfectly normal.
2% of the population does that.
You've already done that a couple of times with us.
I'm gonna have to put on my nice clothes and go to this restaurant, aren't I?
Yep, suffer.
Will someone please come with me and stab me in the leg with a toasting fork if I'm about to visibly vomit?
Well volunteered, Sunshine.
I'm not going to. It's a Yakuza restaurant. They're not going to let us in.
Hey, you're even Japanese. Do you know anything about the language or culture, or am I being racist?
Sunshine says in Japanese, yeah, I can speak Japanese. She's bilingual. She's fully bilingual. Her Chinese isn't too bad either. And she speaks a tiny, tiny bit of Sparatial because she's been picking it up off Luna.
You could have just called me the inbred son of a motherless whore and I would neither disagree with you, nor know what you just said. Okay,
so I ran that through a translator. She said yes.
Fabulous. I'm going to look out what's appropriate to wear to a Yakuza-owned Japanese-style restaurant.
Want to say?
I may not be the best choice for this. Couldn't you take... Oh, looks across the table at the two trogs. Oh, frack.
Why don't you take one of the metahumans?
Yes, one of the people that are going to be slurred and killed on sight.
Look, if they let us into the district, we'll be lucky.
Yeah, look,
Neither of you have to go if it's not something you think will work.
Yeah, hang on a minute. I don't actually have a valid sin anymore. Will you even let me in?
How good's your faith?
Trevor, do you think the Yakuza will be doing a sin check at the door?
Well, yes, but no. But the people that run the nice area might be doing a sin check. My mum
Yeah,
had
you
built into her
will get sin
bracelet.
scanned on the way in. That's a good point.
A AAA area.
I think that Cyber Eye could do it.
Well, you were just saying that you had a sin. Why don't you go?
I'm still an orc.
On a little bit of makeup.
I could render you completely invisible.
How big is Mav for reference?
I don't know, 6'4"?
Small for an orc.
I think orcs are taller than that usually.
Orcs are pretty stacked.
I believe you're body 5, is it?
5.
That's pretty big.
The physical maximum for an unaugmented human without the exceptional attribute quality is 6.
I'm not as big as humans get. I'm smaller than, The Rock.
Yeah, you're probably about 6'4", that kind of height.
Yeah.
And pretty stacked, but not like professional bodybuilder stacked.
Built like a brick shit house.
Oh, not even. Built like a...
Shit
I
brick
don't know.
house.
That sounds like an insult. Don't say it to an orc.
Well, there was someone who once came to one of my parents' galas. They didn't have their sin at the time. They burned it as some sort of artistic expression. If you can give me 2 minutes to rack my brains, I'll remember the bullshit excuse he came out with. And I'll try that, and if they don't let me in, I'll flutter the name at them, and if that doesn't work, I will go home. For context, Toiga has privileged family name.
So he can actually name drop.
Yeah. We're a wee bit out with his sphere of influence, because it's not like high society.
Will they not call your parents if you do that?
I mean, they know I'm alive. They could probably find out where I am without very much effort. They just don't care enough to try. I did pee on a lot of their furniture and steal a great many of their possessions.
The second one makes sense.
Why did you pee on their furniture, Tiger?
They thought they were being clever.
I'm not sure that the two necessarily connect, but I have seen less unhinged things.
Essentially what happened was I wasn't following the approved path of magic. I refused to relinquish my totem, and I refused to go to the Wuxing West magical training program. So they said they would burn my sin and I could have it back when I agreed to act like a proper good member of society. So I stole their valuables, pissed on their furniture, shredded the family portraits, and vanished into thin air.
That sounds like something that you would do.
Does sound like something you would do. Well, isn't peeing on the furniture more of a dog thing?
Cats pee on the furniture all the time, I gather. I've never had a pet one.
Really?
I understand that cats are somewhat fond of peeing on things.
Isn't having pets a rich people thing?
Yeah, there were a few people that Mum used to hang out with that kept tropical birds, and some of Dad and his friends would go hunting with dogs sometimes.
Shall we go back to sending Tiger to either visit or spy on a
Oh,
restaurant?
Jesus Christ.
I mean, there's no reason I can't do both.
I believe you took a brief glance at the Matrix. Are you taking a look in any further depth, or are you just kicking him out the car outside the restaurant and letting him get on with it?
First thing, is there a menu online for this place? Like, how much is this place gonna cost to go to?
I highly doubt there's a menu if it's that posh.
Give me a browse roll.
Sure. 4 hits. Because if this place is like 100 yen for a bowl of soup, I'm not going.
I think Sunshine has various reasons not to go to this place.
So you know that it's an upscale restaurant in East Williston, Nassau.
Yep.
It's 5-star traditional Japanese cuisine with the atmosphere to match. Their speciality is their tonkatsu and traditional grilled food. There is a strict black tie dress code, and if you ain't made a res, you ain't getting through the door, oh my.
You ain't what?
If you haven't made a reservation, you
Alright,
ain't getting through
so
the
we
door.
can't just send Tiger.
How long does it take to get a reservation? Is this like next day or is it next year?
You're having a dig through their Matrix site. They don't seem to have any available reservations for the next 4 days. However, give me another browse roll based on your looking through their reservation information.
1 hit.
So you do find some vague stuff about, oh, there's a way to get reservations on short notice, but no one's really expanding on it. It's on some socialite board, and you're having to pass this between information about who's going out with who, and somebody did such and such at this club, and oh, it's just awful.
Can I roll knowledge Yakuza and maybe see if I can sort of interpret what they're actually trying to not say?
Oh, I have knowledge skill high society. I want to roll as well.
Yeah, both of you can do that actually, because I'll just assume that you're sharing this information with each other.
So I got 4 hits on my Yaks roll.
I got 3.
Drop a hefty wad of cash with the bouncer and the maitre d', and yeah, you'll get through the door.
Define hefty.
This is the kind of place where, in modern monetary terms, you'd be paying like £500 on a bottle of champagne.
Ow.
That's not that much. We sell champagne that costs that much.
Yeah, Al, you work for a wine broker.
Yes, but this is the champagne where they'll drink it like lemonade rather than going, oh, this is a fancy wine. They'll just go, yeah, whatever.
So this is the place where when they sell you actual champagne, you're talking probably 5 figures a bottle.
Yeah, this is a very, very nice restaurant.
Yeah, Chummers, I think if we sold everything we owned and beggared ourselves, we could probably get an entree.
Have any of you ever actually tried real champagne?
Hell, as these... How's How do you spend that much money on food?
By going to this certain restaurant.
No, but like, where does that, other than the yaks, where does that money go?
It goes into being seen drinking $5,000 champagne, Huggy.
And then you post it on your me feed, and all your friends are jealous.
You don't post it on me feed, that's
Or
crap.
whatever posh social network posh people use.
You visibly do not post about it, but you do post a simple image of you walking down the street with the restaurant that serves the $5,000 champagne in the background. And then you bring up that you went out for a light nibble at some insignificant little place called the Golden Boar or something like that.
Prosperous boy.
Exactly, you get the name wrong. You make it seem like nothing, even though it's everything. Do you see why I fucking despise it so much?
This makes no sense.
Some of these people be driving up in a 100,000 new yen car.
If they were slumming it.
You go and spend 50,000 new yen on a meal, and they've got maybe a $5's worth of fuel in the tank. Like, I don't. What?
You know what the best thing about this?
There is no good thing about it.
No. Grab any one of those disgusting socialite swine off the street and ask them to have an opinion about the food they ate or the wine they drank. And they will burst, because they have no one of their own social caliber to bounce that opinion off. Everything's about seeming. It's horrific.
Give me a quick browse roll there, Sunshine.
Sure. 3 more hits.
So you're just kind of having a moment of, no, it can't be that good. It can't be that good. Let's go looking. And you have a little look around on the Matrix, and you find a SimSense recording from some influencer who went there. It's just like a 30-second clip of her having some of the tonkatsu, and it's like, I mean, this is through SimSense, so it's not quite as good as the real, oh wow, that's actually really very, very good.
Okay. I mean, I noticed, like, Sunshine plays the SimSense recording through. Okay. Okay. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Portion size is pretty decent as well. And then notices that SimSense recording cuts off just as the waiter's bringing the bill over.
Does it have a brief flutter of anxiety at the end?
I'll leave that to the player to decide.
Worryingly, no.
Nouveau riche. If there's anything I hate more than the old rich, it's the nouveau riche.
I'm old poor.
I'm new poor. People like me didn't exist a century ago.
Your family did.
There have always been outcasts, Huggy.
To be honest, I wouldn't know.
I mean, unless you were formed from clay in the last, 100 years, your family existed.
Go ask the German government whether Mike's family existed a century ago. See what answer you get.
Why is it that whenever we end up talking about, taking on Yakuza crime families, it's all light and peppy, but the second we start talking about ourselves, we all end up depressed. Any wine? My toy goes to rummage in the fridge.
My great-great-grandparents got interned.
That's pretty shitty.
Yeah.
You can see Mav doing what the fuck part of history was happening then, where in the world were they?
I mean, that was the 20th century. They could have been fucking anywhere. The last 2 centuries have just been shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Was industrialization a mistake?
Pretty shit before that.
I think industrialization may have been a mistake, but equally, how did people live before soy processors?
I have no idea.
Cooked? I mean...
Yeah, but how do you order your groceries?
I don't...
How does the drone bring them to you?
Sunshine, this is the dark ages we're talking about. People had to go to the shops.
Okay, so that's fine. But how does that stuff get to the shop? We'd have to have millions and millions of trucks to get. You have to have a different truck. How do you get those different ingredients to the shops? When you're not
Let's
getting
not get into discussion of 20th century.
Toya comes back to the table and just slams a wine bottle down in the middle of it. Right, we've got enough depressing talk. Everyone drink some of this and then we can plan on how we're going to...
Is it actual wine or is it synthahol?
It is synthahol. It's made of mycoprotein.
Yep, fair. Just checking, because I was going to say otherwise. Wow, Toyga's splashing the cash.
I mean, he might be.
I've spent far too much on the actual vegetables and bacterial protein for the Buddha's delight. You're getting the cheap shit.
So, Rid, based on my 2 hits on my knowledge of sheer wines and Toyga's 2 hits on his wine tasting, how bad is this wine?
I mean, it's better than a bottle of Blue Nun, but...
It's also Dungeons a Koch.
It's the kind of wine you drink to serve a purpose. You drink it to get drunk, you don't drink it for the flavour.
Purpose is to forget.
Like French kissing an ashtray that doesn't love you anymore.
I'm looking at this map.
Yep.
Right across the bay is Plando Manor, a D-rated area. If we want to do any scouting, I think we do it from there. Any physical scouting of the house.
Oh, yeah. Is it visible from the water?
You'd need to get over there to find out. You'd need to actually physically go and have a look, or get some decent grid guide pictures, which, for a D-rated area, you're probably not going to get.
Grid guide? No, grid guide will go into a D-rated area. It's not that bad.
Everyone takes a good cameras in.
Yeah, how reliable the pictures are, how up to date.
So, road trip?
Road trip sounds like fun.
Can we get ice cream?
We take the bottle of wine with us.
Yeah, as you go down, you can see that Rick is yelling at one of the gangers, and just... the ganger has this look of confusion and is saying something about, "No, Rick, I haven't seen it. No, Rick, I haven't touched your bed. No, Rick, I don't care." Rick's just screaming at him, and you can see this ganger has got this look of, "I could shoot him, but Mrs. Kubiyota would get pissed off with me." And you can see he's weighing up whether or not it's worth it at the moment as you're heading through the lobby. He's not quite there yet, but he's considering it.
Shinzo, leave Richard alone. He's got enough on his plate.
Shinzo just kind of turns and looks at you and says, "I want to. He won't leave me alone. Rick, I haven't seen your bed. No, I didn't take it. Leave me be, man."
This is not a situation I'm going to interrupt.
Nope. Just keep walking.
Oh, ignore him. He'll remember where he put it eventually. Don't let him see the wine bottle, for Christ's sake.
What bottle?
You think the wine bottle made it all the way down here?
The bottle, yes. Its contents...
There are 2 large metahumans and 2 humans in this party.
2 large metahumans and 2 drunks.
Rick sees it, and you see his eyes just lock onto the bottle, and then he realizes it's empty, and he looks really disappointed. But it gives Shinzo just enough opportunity to leave quietly. So your drive over there is pretty straightforward. You're mainly sticking to main roads. You're avoiding Manhattan. It could be worse.
I have the choice of going through Manhattan.
Yeah, it's about 3 kilometers between those 2 points, so unless there's stuff in the way, that should be visible from there.
Yeah, so you head over to Plando Manor. It's much like any other dreck hole in this part of town. It's not as tall as the buildings you'd see closer to like Brooklyn and Queens. It's mainly sort of 10, 12-story housing blocks where the first floor is shops and everything looks the same. It's pretty boring.
I mean, it's not as if I've never seen somewhere that everything looks the fucking same.
So yeah, what are you doing once you get over there?
Going down the coast?
The buildings come right up to the waterline, basically. It's just big old 12-story housing blocks. They're big cuboids that have just been dumped onto this area.
Right, I'll take out one of the drones. That would be Hönen.
Okay. You launch it. How high?
I will be taking that up to about the level of the tops of the buildings.
As you head over there, could I get a
Oh, no, I'm not sending the drone over here. I'm sending the drone up above the buildings that we're currently
right.
in and looking across the water. I'm not sending it across just yet.
Okay, that's fine. What are you doing when it's sort of getting closer to target? What are you looking for? Give me a bit of an idea.
I want to try and get a basic plan of the house from above.
You can get a very, very vague idea from the distance. It seems to be quite a large house in some grounds surrounded by a tree line and a fence, and there's a gate with a little hut just inside the gate, and there's like a drive that's a loop in front of the house. There's quite a few trees and garden around the house as well.
Looking at this place, it looks like a fairly standard double-A mansion.
Yeah, it's not like psychotic amounts of money. It's a large house more than a mansion, but by the standards of the Sixth World, it's totally a mansion.
Yeah. Is there any drone? Is there any pre-existing? Is there any like drone streams going over this mansion?
Give me a scan roll and a perception roll. So this is representing you having a digital look as well as a physical look. The perception will be based on your drone, of course.
So that's 2 hits and 2 hits.
There's quite a few police drones around. I take it you're trying to avoid those as much as possible.
It depends. As a police drones, if I'm trying to just join a stream of other drones, to look like I'm just another drone flying around this area.
Give me an infiltration roll then, just to see how well you blend in. As this is relatively easy to do.
Don't fuck it up. Possibly
I
use
am
edge.
going to edge it.
You're rigged in, aren't you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. They're blissfully ignorant of you. You can actually get quite close to the mansion.
Excellent.
Give me a perception of the mansion. This is like representing you getting a relatively low pass over the place.
6 hits.
Nice.
Did you mean to edge that?
Yes, I edged that. I figure that's less edging.
You wish us to have all of the information.
That's what I'm here for.
So you actually get a really good aerial shot of the place, and you can see a couple of figures down there.
Aha, a swimming pool.
That looks more like a fountain than a swimming pool.
That is definitely a fountain.
Or maybe it's
I mean, there's a hot
spring.
tub on the balcony.
Oh yeah, there's a hot tub there as well.
So, yeah, you've got the house seems quite large. There seem to be a couple of guards out the front and one on the balcony.
That's less guards than I was expecting.
Those are the guards we can see.
Yes.
There's also a guardhouse.
Yes.
There's also a case of this is an Oibon's mansion. That's protection in and of itself. If I were to go astral, could I maybe zoom about and try and figure out who's the finger wiggler among them? If there's a finger wiggler present?
So you can do, but you would have to avoid the Watcher spirits.
What skills would I need to do that?
So infiltration is normally linked to agility. I'll just link it to magic for this.
Okie dokie, let's do that then.
Do you have the infiltration skill?
I don't. I picked gymnastics over infiltration, thinking it would be more useful in my boundless foolishness. That gives bonuses to both, but I have to pick one.
Well, you picked wrong.
I picked wrong, but I'm a silly Billy.
I'll say you can do magic -1. You can just default.
Okie dokie, let's roll my magic. 2 hits.
So with 2 hits, you manage to avoid the Watchers.
What do the Watchers look like?
They look like little Oni masks.
Does that make sense?
You manage to find them. Bear in mind, they're just kind of moving around the place. They seem to be just looking for spirits and the like and mages. I'll just say that you're able to do a quick bop around the mansion and an sense. It'll give you an idea of how many people are there and if any of them are magically active. I'll keep your infiltration roll from earlier. So give me an sense.
3 hits.
Sorry, I do apologise. Could I have a perception check first, please? I'll keep your sense roll with 3 hits, but I'll need a perception as well.
3 hits again.
You find there's 2 guys over by the guard hut, there's a guy over by the greenhouse as well, there's 5 people in the building on the ground floor, and there's 5 people upstairs currently.
What can I tell if any of them are magical?
None of them are magically active. A lot of them seem to have cyberware. So for some of them, it's running up their back and into their legs and into their head. There's others that they've got a bit more headwear and stuff like that going on. Yeah, there's one guy on the ground floor with a lot of headwear.
He'll be their CPU, I'm guessing.
The guy in the greenhouse, one of the guys downstairs, and one of the guys upstairs seem to have none whatsoever.
Interesting.
Another person upstairs who they only seem to have one small bit of cyberware just in their neck, like at the back of the head, base of the skull. There's another one who has none at all. There's one of them who... How are they still alive? Just there's like no essence there, pretty much. It's all just cyberware.
On the streets, Sam.
They're upstairs.
They are like physically upsetting for Toiger to look at.
Yeah, they look... Muren look hale and healthy.
Oh no, I don't...
You don't detect anyone else. There's definitely not anyone who's magically active about.
Well, it was a nice theory. I don't suppose I can tell, like, gender of any of these people, or is that not something that shows up?
Let me have a look. It's not mentioned. I would say gender being what it is and physical sex being a separate thing. Whipple? It's like looking at a skull in archaeology. You can go, yeah, it's probably this, but that's just based on brow ridges.
Okay, I'm just gonna like pop back into my body, like sit up in the boat. My face has probably been like pressed up against something. We're not in a boat, are we? Why did I think we were in a boat?
We're not in the boat.
We're on the shore.
On shore.
We're possibly even in the van.
You're just having flashbacks, Toiger, it's fine.
Right, there's somebody in there that... You know the big scary street sound guy we were all told about?
Yeah.
He's in there, but...
Right.
He's difficult to look at.
Our target is in there currently.
Yep.
There's also some people there. Most everyone in there has some cyberware, be it like little limb enhancers, I'm guessing, or like something at the base of the skull. Like there was a little hole, so I'm guessing that's something to do with like improving brain network or maybe communication. There's one or two who don't have anything. I'm guessing staff or guests. But it's unusual for somebody to not have anything at all and not be magically active. You know, everyone's got little things nowadays.
Or they're awakened.
No one's awakened there. Like, there's little watchers dotted about, but they're... I mean, I was able to sneak past them. They're dim by watcher standards. I don't know who conjured them, but they're definitely not there.
Mav, could I get another roll off you, this time at a -2?
You can. That hits 3 of them.
Ah, excellent. So, from your experience of working in the security sector, Mav, you're having a moment of, oh yeah, how could I have been so dumb? It's that. It's probably an off-site mage who has watchers set up there to warn him of anything, and if they pick up on anything, then the off-site mage will come over astrally.
Off-site in.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which typically they can do in a few seconds.
Yes, because they can, as long as they know where the thing is and know what they're looking for on the astro, unlike Toiger's previous attempt at navigation.
We're talking combat turns rather than minutes.
Indeed.
Presumably they'd show up to have a wee look at what's upset their spirit and then jump back into their body to text someone that something's going on the grounds, I had to guess.
I'm more likely to text the alert and then go astro.
It depends on their protocol. It might be go and check because watchers are dumb, and then go back to body, sound alarm, go back. It might be that if you think you can deal with the threat on your own, deal with it without alerting the main security. It might just be deal with it. It depends on the company. It depends on their protocol.
This place has a lot of people in it. Many of whom are guards.
But there's no awakened in there.
Probably shoots down that theory of yours, Sunshine.
That's a shame. The only other thing is there any chance she might be at the restaurant right now? Is that possible?
I mean, Toiger can try and find the restaurant in Astral. That means none of us have to go into a AAA area.
So, the way I was thinking about doing that, because I got so lost the other time, what to do is if somebody can bring up, like, grid map or something and go into the street view and just walk me to where the restaurant is, I'll just do that exact thing in the Astral and hopefully get there.
You're gonna get so lost.
I'm going to get extremely lost, but it will be
Or
fun.
we can just go to Searing Town just across the border, which is derated and you don't need to worry that much.
You make a good point.
Can we get ice cream on the way?
Absolutely. In fact, I insist on it. I'm fucking starving.
Yay, ice cream!
Just eat.
Ice cream!
You've seen the size of me, right?
Oh, right, troll things.
Ice cream's not food.
If you are getting ice cream, Toiga, unless you're dropping some serious cash, you're not going to find real ice cream.
We're not getting
Oh.
real ice cream.
Is there, like, not soy-based ice cream?
It's soy or krill.
Krill will do.
Krill Scream.
I've actually had crab ice cream before, it's quite nice.
I detest crabs, so... bleh. So, you get yourselves over to Searing Town. It's another D-rated shithole. Toiga,
We're doing a tour of the D-rated shitholes in New York today.
yeah, so you park up.
Buddy, I live in Specials. This is Uptown.
As you say this, you've got the window down. Somebody hears you and just edges away from you, looking at you nervously, like they're about to get shot. Are you heading over to the restaurant Astrally then, Toiga?
Yes, let's go do ghost shit, and then I just sort of flop over onto the ground.
Okay. Give me another... You ask around some spirits, man. If you want to do it that way, just roll your spirits skill.
I got no hits.
You did, in fact, get no hits. So, yeah, you find yourself materializing, and you're going... Hang on. Why am I in West Babylon? I am way out of my way. And go back to your body.
Where is West Babylon?
Southern Long Island.
I ended up in the wrong place. I might need to try that again.
I was thinking actual Babylon, like you'd somehow gone back in time.
There is no time travel in Shadowrun.
It's like 2 blocks, Toiger. How did you get lost?
Do not ask questions unless you wish to hear the answers, Sergeant.
He moves at the speed of thought. He just sneezed. He had an astral sneeze and ended up on the other side of New York. Okay, so if you want to do it as just careful materializing, you can do it. It'll take you about half hour to minutes. You eventually get over there.
Let's do that. I've landed on sunshine again. I'm just sort of like dribbling.
So you actually find yourself on the correct street. What are you doing? How are you going about this?
So I want to have like a wee snoop around the edge of the restaurant first, see if there's anything protecting it astrally.
Okay, give me a perception check.
1 hit.
There do not appear to be any magical defenses.
I do not trust that for 1 second. But then again, I am just a random mage snooping about somewhere he's not meant to be. The worst they'll do is just shock me and send me away. I'm going to proceed towards the restaurant.
And Tiger was never seen again.
So there's 2 astral forms, well, not astral forms, 2 auras of people outside the front door. When you go into the restaurant, oh boy, there's a lot of people in here. A couple seem to have slightly brighter auras than others, but just dull. Are you a-sensing or anything like that?
Let's have a wee sense of place, see if there's anything spectacular going on. 2 hits.
So there's a lot of cyberware kicking about in varying forms. Some of it looks very, very similar to what you saw at the mansion. There do appear to be a couple of awakened people here, but they're quite low magic rating. You can't tell if they're guards or something else. There's just a lot of people here.
Where are the magical ones standing or sitting?
It's difficult to say because it's not... The astral realm is not an exact reflection of ours. Things keep moving. Have you got magic theory or anything?
I think I might do. Magical theory and magical phenomena.
It could be magic theory. This is more theory than phenomena.
2 hits.
You think they're probably sat at tables.
So that's more customers than anything else.
Just assuming you're checking out the ground floor at the moment.
Let's head upstairs.
Give me a little perception check.
4 hits.
Alright, so zipping around, there's a lot fewer people up up here. There's probably only about 14, 15 people up here total. Some of them, again, with cyberware, very, very similar to what you saw before. Some of them, a lot of them, that's a lot of headwear they've got going on.
That would be the Banraku then.
Oh, sorry, I should have asked for an A-sensing roll before discussing that. Could I get a quick A-sensing?
Yep, I might not know that. 3 hits.
Fortunately, you do. With 3 hits, you do.
The Benraku, I'm going to guess they're worse to look at than the Oyavan Cyber Zombie.
He gets their state of health off that, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Doesn't
in
he?
terms of physical health, they're pretty healthy. Their aura seems... It feels like it has a grey cloud covering it that's pressing down on the other colours. You'd normally associate that grey colour with technology.
Okay, so this is the room that caters to the special clientele. Probably can't see on the astral if there's any additional exits.
Not really. The way I imagined the astral is it's a little bit like... Are you familiar with Wheel of Time at all?
Vaguely, I read it once. Read the series once.
Okay, so are you familiar with Talaran Rhyod, the World of Dreams?
Yes.
Cool. So it's a little bit like that. So it's a reflection of our world, but things don't stay in the same place. Things move around. The colours are much more muted, greyed out. You might look at a wall and it might look one way. You look back another minute and it looks a different way, kind of thing.
Is there anything that seems oddly permanent? Is there anything that's a real fixture of this place?
The longer things have been there, the more permanent they become. So you get the sense that, there's a stairwell at the back that's like a fire exit. There's also you can work that out just from context. And there's the sort of central stairs as well. There's a couple of lift shafts. You can kind of get an idea of stuff, but it's difficult.
Can I see any small little life forces that might be like vermin or something? Either under the place in the sewers underneath, or in the walls, or just nearby?
In the walls, not really. Sewers underneath, yeah, sure.
Is there... I won't be able to tell there's a way between this to get from the sewers up to the place, but presumably there is. The place has to have drainage.
I mean, there's plumbing.
I've not really been able to learn anything useful. So I'll go back into my body and suggest that Huggy have a look around the back with any of her drones if they can sneak there.
That's going to be more tricky. I'll give it a go, so.
Nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Alright, so are you launching the Optic X again?
Yes, I'm going to do.
Alright, so as you start to cross over into the AAA area, give me an infiltration roll for the drone to try and blend in with traffic.
Do you still have edge?
I still have 1 point.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's relatively late by this point.
We have spent a lot of time watching Tiger's shoes.
I'm just tying the laces together.
Braiding random stuff into my hair.
You're a shaman, you're used to that. It's fine.
So that's 1 hit.
As you are entering the area, your drone gets an automated message from an NYPD Inc. roto drone asking for license registration and flight plan.
Right, I will try and spoof one, I guess.
So, have you got the spoof program?
No, I don't. I don't have that. That's helpful. In that case, I just drop.
Okay. So, are you just noping the fuck out and turning away?
Yup.
Yeah. So, seeing that you're turning away, it doesn't press it any further. It's like, no, it's gone back into a D-rated area. It's not entered the secured area.
Right, getting drones into AA areas is tricky.
Yeah, this one's AAA.
50% more tricky.
Oh, Christ, I fucking hate AAA areas.
Why did we take a job that involved going to 2 ridiculous high security areas?
I still think that our best option is trying to hit them when they're moving between the 2.
Yeah.
Go buy another dump truck.
That went well last time.
Well, they're not going to... They use off-site mages for protection. They're not going to like being seen with them, so we have the magical advantage. And I know that terrifying sucking wound of a human being might be a bit intimidating in hand-to-hand combat, but if you can catch them off guard, and if we can force them to flee the restaurant very suddenly by filling it with rats and fire...
Then they're fleeing into a AAA area.
Still think that's a bad plan. They're gonna have backup places to go
They're going...
that aren't, like, on the other side of a whole bunch of different... They'll have a backup that's closer to each.
Bunraku, would they have contacts in the more mundane sex worker community?
Rid, based on what I've just rolled, is this something I would know?
Could I get a Yakuza knowledge as well to back up your 3 hits?
Yep. Yeah.
You absolutely know this.
It's a difficult one. It depends who's doing it and why. Some Bunraku are past a certain point when they're running on chips all the time. You're not really a person anymore. You're a bio drone. It's yeah. Some people go into that. Some girls. It's well, I mean, there are some guys, but it's mostly girls. It's easier to just go to work and then switch off.
I think that's true for a lot of professions, but I imagine that for sex work it's especially so.
Yeah. So you don't have to. It can be a slippery slope as well. Sometimes people get into sex trade, they don't like it, but you got to do it. People get cyberware anyway. People, if you're slotting BTLs anyway.
So that's what I was thinking. If you're already a BTL addict, then most of your personality is slowly dripping away to begin with.
Yeah, it just really depends.
Bunraku are not something that I know a whole lot about, but I know that they're
I really don't like.
Not something I'm happy that exists.
It's also very easy if you have, I guess, allowed yourself to become a Bunraku. It's very easy for someone to just start. You don't really know what's on that chip before you slot it. You don't know how long it's going to last for.
You are trusting the person who has given you the chip, or who has programmed the chip.
Yeah.
Be not screwing you over. And in this circumstance, you really can't trust that.
Yeah.
Helpers or support communities that help these people, or is it?
I mean,
this is a 6th world, Chama.
Oh, I mean, yeah. There's probably like a couple of small independent underground railroads, but for most people, it's a one-way trip. Once you start going down that path, you're not ever getting out of that profession.
It doesn't sound like a job where you leave and have a happy family afterwards.
Excuse me. Yeah, Sunshine just gets out the van and goes, excuse me, and just wanders off for a minute.
Before you wander off, Huggy will throw Daumerling over when you get out. Daumerling is a little insect drone.
Okay, I probably didn't spot you doing that.
Or should be saying catch,
Oh, right, okay.
As in...
You're not being bugged, you're being given a bug.
You're being given a little... Just in case. This is a D-rated area, but I don't...
Yeah, so Sunshine wanders off. Does anyone want to roll Judge Intentions?
After a hint like that's been dropped, you probably should.
That's 1.
1.
Y'all are bad at this.
Tiger.
You're the face for a reason.
3 hits.
You guys, Mav and Huggy, you're kind of going at, the fuck are you doing, women? It's a terrible neighborhood to go for a walk. Toiger's like, oh, she's upset.
No, I'm gonna go after you at this point.
She's probably literally just walked to like the nearest corner of pavement, like the nearest block corner. Just gone, sorry, when Toiger catches up, sorry, need a minute.
I didn't realize it was quite so personal. I don't know how to comfort you, and I don't know what to say, So I'm going to stand here, and if you want to cry or hug me or say something that will make you feel better, I will listen to you. Looking at people on the astral, you see their physical health. These people were in reasonably good nick.
Stop talking.
There was something wrong
Toiger,
with
stop
them.
talking.
Okay.
I don't need to be a fragging, finger-wiggling, fragging mage to know what was happening to them, okay? Just stop talking.
I'm going to stop talking.
Yeah, she leans in and hugs you and is like quietly doing the scrunched up face, crying. You know, you guys are probably in this situation where like, you're not allowed to, because of situations, you're not allowed to actually shout and scream and cry, so you do it like utterly silently.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, that goes on for about, I don't know, 20 seconds. And then she moves herself off you, very quickly pulls the tissue out of her bag, like wipes her eyes and goes, okay, right, back to it. She has just, that slipped out a little bit, that's been compartmentalized, it's been shoved back the frag down into the dark recesses of her soul and back onto the job, and heads back to the van.
May I get a composure check, please, Sunshine?
Yes.
This is more just to get a gauge of how well you're holding it together.
Yeah. We've had a day since... Like, we've had a sleep at some point, haven't we?
Yes.
We slept between Giuseppe's and...
So I've
the
recovered
stuff
a
we did
point
this
of
session.
edge. 2 hits.
You're obviously upset, but holding it together, it's that thing where other people are going, I can see they're not feeling too hot, but they're obviously trying to not let it show that they're not feeling too hot, so I'm just going to leave the frag alone, unless they're a tactless person, or just going, you're upset, I am meant to do a thing, and just doing that, I'm trying to do the right thing, but just blundering in and not realizing this is really not the right thing.
Yeah.
So, Tiger blunders, and the other two of us don't poke it.
Toiger does indeed blunder.
You got told to shut up.
Toiger summons his Watcher Spirit, which is like a little kitten made of like glass and stone, sort of hands it to Sunshine.
Huggy will sit back into his cocoon and stays there.
Yeah, so I'm just going to hand you the kitten, wordlessly. Its instruction is to be as small and comforting as possible.
That is actually, like, Sunshine can't really figure out what you're doing right now, but, like, that's very cute.
So you hand her kind of a ghost cat and go, oh no, that isn't going to work. Summon up another spirit and give it an instruction of be loved. This.
Do we all know what a sugar glider looks like?
Yes.
Yes.
Sugar glider, but it's wearing lederhosen and like a little alpine elf hat. It just sort of goes going and like curling into a little ball and like waving its little tail.
On being given the instruction of you will be loved as this is handed to Sunshine, it just has this really confused, what? This is not how this normally goes. I mean, yeah, sure, but this is not how this normally goes.
You're supposed to command me to kill things.
Oh god, it's just making me think of that meme of an Australian possum where he wants to kill you, he just can't.
Everything in Australia is trying to kill you. Except this. Don't get him wrong, he wants to kill you, he just can't.
Thank you for spending some time with us and listening to the Pride Against Prejudice podcast. We hope that you enjoyed the show and look forward to seeing you again in 2 weeks' time for our next episode. In the meantime, most of the Sixth World's food sounds pretty grim, with the exception of Toiger's excellent cooking. How did that get in my script? That isn't my handwriting. But is there anything you'd actually want to try? I'm morbidly intrigued by soy calf myself and how bad it actually is. How about you? Let us know on our Discord. Intro is More Human Than Human by Carl Casey, and the background music is also by Carl Casey. Outro music is Neon Thrills by Luck Hash, and all sound effects are credited in the show notes. The Topps Company Inc. has granted permission to the Pride Against Prejudice podcast to use such names, logos, artwork, marks, and or any other proprietary material for promotional and informational purposes on its website, but does not endorse and is not affiliated with the Pride Against Prejudice podcast in any official capacity whatsoever. All other works mentioned in this podcast remain the property of their respective owners. The Pride Against Prejudice podcast is licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution 4.0 license, so if you want to use any part of the show, please give us the credit. See you next time, chummers.